Hey, well, welcome. Hey, this is Captain speaking. We had a total outage, electrical outage. It's a good thing that I know how to use my checklists. It's because of that got everything back up to speed. You know what? This is not the first time I've had a outage in an airplane, but to go out everything in the studio, that's a whole nother story. I want to welcome you to flight 2025. And tonight we're going to be talking about the where do we go from here? Where are we headed? Where are we headed with flight 2025? Now, this is technically, it is a new year. Now, it is only a new year if you change your habits. But if you don't change your habits, it's just another year. I'm just keeping it 100. And we got to do some things differently. Here in America, things have changed. You know, we've got a new incoming administration that ain't playing. And so they're on a mission. And so guess what? That's cool. We have to be on a mission too. And our mission is to get us to the wealthy place. I'm not holding back. I know for many years here, I've held back and tried not to say anything about any group of people. I've tried to keep it to myself, but it's at a point that someone has to step up and take the leadership role. Somebody has to take the reins of the flight. Otherwise, we'll all go into the dark. And if you're in the dark and don't have any electricity, you will find yourself in a world of trouble if you don't do something and do it quickly. So I've taken control of the throttles. I've taken control of the yoke. Hey, I'm stepping up to be the new leader. You see, everything rises and falls on leadership. And so tonight, I just want to talk a little bit. I'm going to step over into an area. Normally, I try and stay away from and use other platforms, let them talk about it. But tonight, I'm crossing over. We got to cross over so that we don't be in the dark ever again. We want to be the light. And we've been sent to the planet to be the light. You know, each and every one of us, when we were created, we were like a seed. And God sent us here to the earth for one purpose, to bring heaven to earth. That's the only reason why we're on the planet. He wants to see heaven in the earth. And we've been called to do that. Now, it doesn't take everybody, but it does take the right bodies to have a different mindset. And if we're going to change our condition, we're going to have to go within. You can't change the fruit until we change the root. And the root cause is it has been our thinking, our stinking thinking. You know, it's been said our thought life is what controls our life. Well, that's a true statement. And in our communities, and I'm going here tonight, I have to go here tonight. Somebody's got to say it. And so Captain Dr. G, Prime Minister G, I'm putting on all the hat, captain's hat, my captain's minister's hat, my Unity for a Better Community nonprofit foundation hat, the American slave hat. I wear many hats, and usually I keep them all separate. But tonight I want to join them all together, because to change our condition, it's going to take three things. It's going to take a spiritual leader. I qualify for that. It's going to take a culture leader. I qualify for that. For the last 11 years, I've been really studying and understanding the American slave history. And then it's going to take a businessman, a business leader. I qualify for that because I have the Captain's Millionaire Training Program. So those are three things that it's going to require to move us out of our condition and move us forward. Now, this week here, I had the opportunity to meet with someone that was special. They wanted to learn more about what exactly I'm doing to bring about change, because they were considering getting involved. So you know what I did? I sat down and I just said, let's start from the beginning. I asked the question, who are you? Who are you? Because I told her until we know who we are, we're not going to know where we're going to where what we can do and where we can go. And she said, I've thought about that all my life. I've struggled with that. And I said to her, today, you're not going to struggle no more because we're going to walk through that real quickly. And I showed her that who she was is that we're made in the image of God after his likeness, and that God is a spirit. He said, and those that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. I said, hello, spirit. I said, we're tripartite beings, 3 parts. We're spirits. We possess souls. We live in physical bodies. And then I explained to her that I explained to her that we are made up of 15 faculties. She said, really? I said, yeah, 15 faculties. I said, can I give them to you? I said, because let's go fast because we're going to cover a lot of things. She said, please do. I said, your body, you can touch, taste, hear, smell, see. I said, that's 5. I said, your soul is made up of your mind, will, imagination, motion, and intellect. That's another 5. That's 10. And I said, you can pray in the spirit, hope, reverence, believe, and have faith. I said, that's 15 faculties. And I said, if you're going to be effective here in the earth realm, you got to know how to use all 15 of those faculties. I said, what the deal has been, we've been using at least 5 of them, at best 7. I said, we use the touch, taste, hear, smell, and see. We use the body parts because that's physically. I said, every once in a while we pray. Then a lot of times we are emotional. 1 minute we're up, next minute we're down. I'm mad at you. I hate you. I love you. So I said, so we're using 7 out of the 15 faculties. I said, that's less than half. I said, how effective are we going to be here in the earth realm? She said, not too effective. I said, that's why we're in the condition that we're in. And then I told her, I said, the issue has been we have not asked the right question. There's 7 questions that you got to get answered. It took me 36 years to get answered. And I shared them with her. I asked her, who created you? Who are you? What are you? What should you be becoming? What should you be doing as you walk on the planet? I said, that's one question. I said, the second question is, where are you visibly positioned in American society, socially, politically, and economically? I said, you can't be guessing. You got to know exactly where you are. I said, before I take the airplane flying, I always know my longitude and latitude. It's critical. I said, the third question is, once you've identified where you are, if you don't change, where could you wind up? I said, because if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep producing the same result. And that's the definition of insanity, madness, crazy, stupidity. I said, the next question you got to get answered. If you don't like where you're going to wind up, where do you need to be? What's your new destination? What vehicle gets you there? How long will it take? What's the flight plan or your personal plan? Fifth question, how did we get in the present predicament that we're in today? I said, not knowing where you got to our today, let's not learn, soon repeat it. I said, so we got to know how we got here. Sixth question, if you're not flying the jet or driving the process, who is and where are they currently taking you? Why are you still on board this vehicle? How do you get off? Seventh question, are you now willing and ready to pay the cost to get you a new destination? I said, those are 7 thought-provocative questions that took me 36 years to get answered as I was out here searching and looking for where we need to go. And so I just sat out and I just walked her through the questions. And I said, where are we at right now? Most of us, we're just over bottom. We have jobs. And if you lose a job, you may go to the bottom. And the way things are going right now, generally over the next 100 days, you're probably going to see thousands and thousands of people are being laid off from the U.S. federal government because the new administration has set up a department specifically to knock out jobs. They want efficiency. So that's going to happen. And I said, where do we need to be? I said, we need to be at knowledge, wealth, power, interdependency. And I said, and how we get there, I said, we got to use all the tools that I've helped set up, like the Captain's Millionaire. I said, the Captain's Millionaire process, everyone needs to become a part of that process. And then I said, let me tell you why. I said, the Bible said, get wisdom, but with all you're getting, get understanding. And then I took her over to Psalms 132b, where it says, the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. I said, the reason why I set the Captain's Millionaire process up is so that people will not be destroyed. They can be able to get this information and apply it in their lives. I said, I've taken on the responsibility to educate our people. Then I took her to Psalms 23:23 and let her read it. And she read, by the truth, by also wisdom, understanding. I said, and asked her, I said, is that B-U-Y or is that B-Y? She said, it's B-U-Y. I said, what did that mean to you? That means pay for it. I said, exactly. I said, that is a law in the Bible. People should be buying the truth, because if you're not buying the truth, you may not be getting the truth. And so we need to have the right information. And I said, I've gone out of my way to set up the training, because I said, where are we headed? We're headed to move the people to the wealthy place. I said, Psalm 66:12 said, I've caused men to ride over your head. You've gone through fire and through water, but I brought you out into a wealthy place. And the reason why people are not wealthy in our society, the masses, they've never made the wealthy place their destination. See, we are all free moral agents, just like I explained to you just a few minutes ago. But God will never violate your will. Never, ever, never, ever. Because if he does, he wouldn't be God. You have to make a decision that you want to get to the wealthy place. Because see, if you're not headed to the wealthy place, you're headed to the poverty place. And then I explained to her why you want to get wealth. I took her to Deuteronomy 8:18, where it was clear in the word. It says, thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, to help to establish his covenant. The whole purpose for getting wealth is for bringing the kingdom of heaven to the earth. If you're not willing to do that, you don't need to have wealth. That he wants you to have wealth and enjoy it. But at the same time, he wants you to understand the purpose of it, to bring heaven to earth, to establish his covenant. And so as I explained to her these things here of how we make this happen, she said, Dr. G, I'm all in. I'm all in. You have walked me through the word. And I told her, I have to walk you through the word because we're about God's business. I wish I could do something else. Well, technically, no, I don't, because I don't want to do anything else. I want to just do my assignment to move God's people to where they need to be. And yes, I thought about it. I said, boy, I can get things done real quickly, and I'm doing it myself. But then I realized it takes teamwork to make the dream work. It takes teamwork to establish the kingdom of heaven. And then I explained to her how we establish the kingdom of heaven. She said, gee, I want to know that. And I asked her another question. How does the earth operate? The earth operates via nation states. Russia, China, Ukraine, Taiwan, Malaysia, Haiti, 55 African states, 52 United States, North, South Korea. I said the world operates off of nation state. If you want to get anything done significant, it has to come through a nation state. That's why I told her in the book, in the New Testament, in 4 places, I shared with her that the Bible says the last shall be first. Not might, not maybe, shall be. And then I said to her, what is a nation state? And then I talked to her about the Tower of Babel, where the word of God says the people are one. They have one heart. Now, nothing that they imagine would not be withheld from them. He said, let's go down there and destroy their language. So that tells me that a nation state is nothing but a people group. People that have had the same experience, that have gone through some things, but it's just a people group. That's it. And I said, wow, if you divide the people, their language, you can take them out. And that's what's been happening here in America. Because I'm going to tell you, the last people group that has been introduced to God family, I said it happened from 1776 to 1861, when they broke away, the 13 states broke away from Great Britain. America created her own slaves. As a matter of fact, if you go look, they passed a bill in the early 1800s that kicked in 1807, where they said, do not import no more slaves. The businessmen here in the United States says, we don't want to compete against them importing slaves. We can breed our own slaves here. And that's what they were doing. America bred her own slaves for that from 1776 to 1861, that 85-year window. And she created her own culture, her firstborn. And America refused to acknowledge her firstborn, that distinct culture, not African Americans, but the American slave culture. And the American slave culture had her descendants after the American Civil War. It went from 4 million up to 21 million in the year 1968, when Dr. King was assassinated. That year that they took the census, there were 21 million descendants of American slaves living here in the United States. And so that culture has not been properly acknowledged. And we have to acknowledge that culture, because we cannot fix the crack in the foundation until we do. A nation is only as strong as its foundation. If you put a house up on a cracked foundation, it's not going to last. And the same thing about here in America. So tonight, all I wanted to do was just share with you that information. And after I finished with her, I said to her, oh, I did some other things. I told her about the time bank. I told her that the ultimate gift that God has given us is life. And life represents time. He's given us all 3 scores plus 10, minimum 70 years. But he's given us 24 hours in a day. And it's what you do with that 24 hours in the day that determines a different skill set. It is what it is. But when you begin to understand that time is money, and our ancestors have been in this country since 1619. America bred her own slaves. Our ancestors put the work in, did the time, but didn't get paid. They got played. And so I'm saying this to everyone that hear this. God's ultimate gift to us is life. Life represents time. Time is money. Time is a currency. When you go on your jobs, they clock you. America keeps a ledger about time, and we got to get that piece. But what we have in place now is the time bank, the Juneteenth Jubilee Time Bank. I'm not going to talk about that tonight, but if you Google it, go out there and check it out, because it is a tool that we're going to use to free us. This is about freedom, true freedom. It's about debt freedom. The year 2025 is the year of Jubilee. This is the Juneteenth Jubilee Time Bank. And we're using it to begin to bless our people, because we all need to get paid for what we do. And time is the new currency. The time bank is 30 years old, but it hasn't been talked about, and it hasn't been used in this light. But we're going to use it to move our people from where we are to where we need to be. I'm going to stop right there. I've been running my mouth. If you guys got any questions or any thoughts or comments, you can put them in the chat, because I'm looking. I'm so excited about what we're doing and where we're going. It's our turn and it's our time. But our culture, and I'm going to say this here and put it on the record, the reason why the slave culture has been struggling is because we've been dealing with the Black philosophy. It has been the Black leaders that have purposely, or not knowing and understanding the American slave culture, that we're America's firstborn. America is the greatest country in the world for what it has done. And we are her offsprings. We are the offsprings to the greatest country in the world. And so we have to change our thought life, because see, our thought life is what controls a life. It says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So we have to change. And I'm going to say this to you guys while I got you here. Not only was slavery a business, but in some parts of the world, the original name of slave meant famous, God's fame, vengeful fame, the famous people that withstood the enemy. It was only because a German crusade captured the Salvos, the Slavonians, the Slavs, and they let them keep their name slave. But their name was still famous. That is the definition, the organic definition of the word slave. Famous, God's fame, vengeful fame. Now, I own the copyrights here to the word slave. I copyrighted back in, when official, July 2017 or 2018. I can't remember, but it's been a few years back. And because of that, I took the word and changed and created a whole new different definition. When you own something, or when you control something, you're now in a position to change the narrative. Now, the original definition of the word slave, it meant fame. Here in America, people are ashamed of the word. I'm not ashamed of the word because I know that that word has great potential when you really understand it and when you begin to think differently. Because I tell you, looking only at what you see will keep you from becoming who you can be. I love the name slave, especially since I changed the acronym on it. So let me give you my acronym and then I'm going to stop. The letter S means we are saved, we're sanctified, we're special, we're spirits, we're successful, we're superior, we're serious. The letter L means we're lords. All of us here are lords. We're lords of our life. We also are listeners. We've been great listeners. We've had to sit down and be quiet and let everyone talk. And I'm guilty of that. But now I'm stepping up here in 2025. We're also lovers. God so loved the world that he gave. Love is about giving. It's about adding value to someone or something other than yourself. Also, we're learners. Right now, you are paying attention. Learning is not free. You're taking your time to get new information. The letter A, it means amazing, awesome, anointed, appointed, achievers, admired. Everybody admire our culture. They see us as special because we are the super culture. We're the culture that America bred. It also means Americans, not Africans. We're not immigrants. We were born here. We have birth certificates here. We're Americans. The letter V means vibrant, vivacious, victorious. We're in it to win it. It also means value. Boy, we bring value to everything that we do, even when it's some negative things. But nevertheless, we do bring value. The letter E means exceptional, excited, exuberant, empowerer, encourager, entrepreneur, extroverts, entertainers. We, we're it. It also means, and this one here, we're economists. We're economists. Our culture is worth 105 trillion. So I use that word when I see the word slave. I think of those values because I'm all of those. So that moves me from negative thinking to positive, and it helps me move forward. And also, it keeps me connected to my ancestors because my ancestors built America. The proof of concept for us is the White House. That's the slave's house. So if anyone ever say anything about the American slave or descendants of slave, just point them to the White House. Well, anyway, my time is up. I thank you for y'all's. You guys have been phenomenal being on the journey today. I just wanted to add value to your life. I want you to be encouraged. It's 2025. It is our turn and it's our time. We're moving to the front of the line. Can you say it is your turn and your time and we moving to the front of the line? If you said that, type it in the comment section and I'll put it up. Let everybody know that you were here tonight, here in 2025. Ain't no jive with you. You ready to go to the next level. We're going to the next level. I want to encourage those that have not signed up here for the Captain's Millionaire or the Captain Plus training, become a member today. We're doing things. It is the vehicle. It is the bridge that brings us over here to the wealthy place. And you got to come through it. There's no way around it. It's like TSA. Think, speak, and act. But it's my security checkpoint because I want to make sure that you are prepared as we approach millionaire status. My time is up. I thank you for yours. This has been your captain speaking. Before I go, I see you. I see you. I'm moving ahead of the line. I know that's right. Your confession equal your possession. If you can embrace that thought, you got it going on. All right, now. All right. Peace and blessings. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week.